Senator Santorum, you voted in support of requiring trigger locks on handguns. You also voted for background checks on firearm purchases made at gun shows. These positions have led your rivals to question your Second Amendment bona fides. What can you say tonight to reassure gun owners that you will stand with them?
Both of those things were supported by the National Rifle Association. I worked with them to craft a bill. This was during the Clinton administration, where I voted against the gun ban, voted against the assault weapons ban, voted 100% with the NRA, and this was a piece of legislation was crafted that they endorsed, they supported, and worked with me to make sure that we would not have something far worse pass. And so sometimes you have to pass something that can get enough votes to be able to satisfy folks that they won't pass something that's much worse. And so that's what you have to do to make sure that rights aren't taken away. I've been a strong, again, lifetime A+ record with the NRA, worked with them. They came to me repeatedly when I was in the Senate to help them and sponsor legislation and work toward making sure and assuring gun rights. Contrast that with Congressman Paul, and one of the most important things that we did in protecting the Second Amendment, and I provided a leadership role on it, was the gun manufacturers' liability bill. There were a lot of lawyers out there who were trying to sue gun manufacturers and hold them liable for anybody who was harmed as a result of the gun properly functioning. And we went forward and passed, with the NRA's backing, a bill that put a ban on those types of lawsuits. If that ban had not been passed, if that gun manufacturer's liability bill, removing them from liability from that, had that not been passed, there would have been no gun industry in this country, and there would have de facto been no Second Amendment right. Congressman Paul voted against that bill. And that's a very big difference between someone who actually works with the gun Second Amendment groups for legislation that can protect that right, and someone who says they're for Second Amendment has attacked me on my Second Amendment issues, which you just referred to. And here's a man that would have wiped out the Second Amendment if his vote would have been carried the day.
Congressman Paul.
Hardly would that wipe out the Second Amendment. But the jurisdiction is obviously with the state. Even when tort law is involved with medical malpractice, which is a real problem. Now, our governor worked on, and our state has done a little bit on medical liability. I think that's the way it should be handled. You don't have national tort law. That's not part of the process. That should be at the state level. So to argue the case that does away with the Second Amendment, when I'm the one that offers all the legislation to repeal the gun bans that have been going on, automatic rifles, everything else. I mean, I've introduced legislation like that. So that's a bit of an overstretch to say that I've done away with the Second Amendment.
I need to respond to that, because the fact is, if we did not have a national liability bill, then people would have been able to go to states like, say, Massachusetts or New York and sue gun manufacturers where they would not pass a gun liability bill. So unless you have a national standard to protect manufacturers of guns, you would create the opportunity for the elimination of guns being manufactured in this country and de facto elimination of the right to bear arms.
Well, this is where our Constitution disappears. It's nibbled away. So, well, I can give up on this, and therefore I'll give that, and so eventually there's nothing left. But no, tort law should be a state function.
Speaker
Gingrich, a super PAC supporting Governor Romney is running an ad here.